All right. So, all right, let's jump into the next thing. I want to finish off with this. I think maybe I can knock this out, give you a chance to think about stuff. Okay, so I was in church this morning, and it was cool. So this will be applicable to our Jewish friends as well, because this comes out of Ecclesiastes, okay, in the Old Testament. And this has a lot to do with that quote I sent you out on Slack. So Vanity of Vanities, says Koheleth, who is the writer of Ecclesiastes. Vanity of vanities, all things are vanity. What profit has man from all labor which he toils at under the sun? One generation passes and another comes, but the world forever stays. The sun rises and the sun goes down. Then it presses on to the place where it rises, blowing now toward the south, then toward the north. The wind turns again and again, resuming its rounds. All rivers go to the sea, yet never does the sea become full. To the place where they go, the rivers keep on going. All speech is labored. There is nothing one can say. The eye is not satisfied with seeing, nor the ear satisfied with hearing. What has been, that will be. What has been done, that will be done. Nothing is new under the sun. Even the thing of which we say, see, this is new, has already existed in the ages that preceded us. There is no remembrance of the men of old, nor of those to come will there be any remembrance among those who come after them. So our preacher said that of all the books in the Bible, because the Old Testament was translated into Greek, there was a lot of Greek theology that had been kind of inserted from the original Aramaic and the original biblical texts. He said, though, that Ecclesiastes is probably the most in line with the Jewish thought on God and why, God's relationship with man. So Ecclesiastes really represents probably the most of any of the books in the Old Testament, the Jewish mindset. So why am I preaching on this? I'm not preaching. I'm just giving you my thoughts on it. How does it apply to us in the alliance business and what we do selling insurance? Okay, well, let me impart some stuff that I was contemplating, man. As it hit me like a ton of bricks. This whole idea of significance. Significance. See, isn't it cool that I can actually write without worrying about the marker not electronically getting on the whiteboard? Significance. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to go through this exercise, all right? I want you to think back. Do you know your grandparents' names? So let's kind of go back one generation. So go -1. Well, obviously, your parents' names. So you know your parents, most of you. There's some that do not, as evidenced by, the Instant Thunder stories that it's amazing. By the way, next week we're going to have Jessica Phillips on our call, and we're going to interview her, man. Her story is amazing. But she's like the #1 rookie, and she's killing it. She just got started a few months ago. So -1, your parents. So do you know their names? Obviously, most of you probably do. Let's go back another generation. Your grandparents. Do you know your grandparents' names? Let's just stay with first names. Do you know your grandparents' names? Okay. Let's go back another generation. Do you know your great-grandparents? Now, maybe if you're Mormon, Mormons are really into genealogy. So if you're Mormon, you probably know your genealogy. It's almost like the book in the Bible that talks about the line of David through Bethlehem, Joseph, right? And they talk about who begets whom. Okay. Do you know your great-grandparents' names? Like some of you probably do. Okay. Let's go back one more. Do you know your great-grandparents' names? Some of you might, but I dare say it's probably a smaller percentage. Let's go, okay, so those of you who are still standing, so like stand up if you know your parents' name. remain standing if you know your grandparents. Remain standing if you know. So those of you that are still standing, if you know your great, -5, without referring to something, like you know at the top of your head who they are, just their names, let alone their lives and what they did and what they accomplished. Let's go great, great, great. So how many generations is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 generations back. How many of you remember that? So if you don't remember even your great-great-grandparents or your great-great-great-grandparents, wow. So 5 generations from now, let's go, instead of must, let's go plus. That's the case. +1 is your children. +2 is your grandchildren. +3 is your great-great. And there's some people that know because they're actually still alive. Great-great-grandchildren. Great-great-great. I don't know, man. What do you think? Do you think your progeny down here is going to remember you? Unless maybe you put your name on a building like Andy Albright did at North Carolina State at Instant Thunder, the Albright Entrepreneurial Village. Unless you put your name on a building, unless they put a monument to you, unless, gang, man, how many people are even going to remember you? What is your legacy? Your legacy is through the children. How many people are going to remember you? It's kind of sad and depressing when you think about, you want to be remembered for this, this, and this. You want to be remembered for a legacy, okay? One thing I'm kind of very excited about is that Andy Albright's doing this premium financing deal. I can't say it's a retirement program, but he's putting $500,000 for me and $500,000 a year for the next 15 years into a premium for my wife. And I think mine is about $8 million. I think hers is probably about $4 million of life insurance. And then we're going to be able to use that money at the end of 15 years however we want. So, so read into that however you want. But we're going to pass on to them $12 million. I've got 5 kids, so they're going to have to split it up. That's going to be a legacy. Maybe my YouTube videos will be a legacy, I don't know. But at least they'll remember, and maybe our grandchildren will remember. My oldest daughter is 22. Maybe great-great. I don't know. Anyway, here's the point. What is your real significance? In the book of Ecclesiastes, it says people are coming and people are going, and you're only going to be remembered only but for so long, and then poof, poof, just like dust, just like dust. So knowing that your influence and impact on the world is only going to be, at least through your children, what significance is there then? Is there significance? A lot of people, especially millennials, are looking for doing something meaningful. What can I do that's going to impact other people? That's what I love about the millennials. I call them the new hippie generation, which is kind of cool. I love the way they think in that, am I just going to do something to make money? Or am I going to do something that have an impact in the world where I feel like I'm doing something of significance for other people? And being a baby boomer generation like me, baby boomers, it's like, what can I do to make some money? What can I do to provide for my family? I don't care if I hate it. I can tolerate doing something if I make a lot of money doing it because the money and providing for my family is utmost. If I have significance and find a purpose, that's icing on the cake, okay? And there's many a baby boomer generation that has living a life of quiet desperation because they wish they could be doing something of significance, but they feel locked into what they're doing because they have to provide for their families, okay? And that's typically, where does that come from? That comes from being raised by the children of the Depression, okay? Baby boomers are a product of people that grew up in the Depression in the 30s and going without and, scraping and clawing. I think they're called the Great Generation before the baby boomer generation. And so they know what it was like. They had a lot to complain about, but they didn't complain. They just ground it out. And so we grew up with parents that said, security, you got to do something that's secure, blah, 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 So I think baby boomer generations were more looking for that secure job to get that retirement versus the entrepreneurs that wanted to make impact, wanted to make a lot of money outside of a job, wanted to be independent, okay? So you have a bunch more baby boomers that are kind of holding on to this notion that, if I just hold on to this job, I'll have a nice retirement and I can survive. Millennials are different. They want to do something of significance. It'd be nice if they made a lot of money doing it. You have your entrepreneurs. They also like to be independent. So the millennial mindset is kind of a cool thing for the Alliance and what we're trying to do. They're kind of set up for it, right? So I get fired up about the millennials. So the significance is not that people remember you. The significance, does it matter? Is what you're doing matter? So what matters? You decide your significance. You decide what is important to you. You decide if you're going to do something when you leave this earth. Why? Because it either all matters or nothing matters. Do you see? Either it all matters or nothing matters. You got to decide either it all matters to someone, to something, to you, or nothing matters. This is really all or nothing. It's a binary proposition. Because living in the middle, if you're straddling this line, this is hell. This line is hell. Whoops, probably can't see that. This line is hell. That's what this line is. You're straddling a line, man, that's pure hell. Because you're living a life of duplicity. You're struggling with the congruity of what you're doing. That's where your unhappiness and frustration comes from. It's either it all matters or nothing matters, right? Let me throw another one on you. There either is an afterlife or there isn't. It's like the Sadducees didn't believe in an afterlife. Isn't. There's no place to go. You're worm food. So you live your life as if there is an eternity after you leave here, and the consequences of what you do impact that. Faith that works, baby. Judgment. Why do they call it Judgment Day? The sheep and the goats. At the end of the world, when judgment comes, he's going to separate the sheep from the goats. For when I was hungry, you gave me something to eat. When I was thirsty, you gave me something to drink. When I was naked, you gave me clothes. When I was in prison, you visited me. The sheep go on to enjoy eternal life. The goats, when I was hungry, you did not feed me. When I was thirsty, you did not give me drink. When I was naked, you didn't give me a cloak. When I was in prison, you did not visit me. You're banished. So if you believe in afterlife, there's consequences to what you do in this life. If you don't believe in afterlife, it's like, what the heck? Morality, everything goes out the door because you can do whatever you want to do because there's no impact. In fact, this is like what pleasures me the most. And let me do that because I only have a short time on this earth before I turn into worm food. After I'm gone, baby, I'm gone. There either is significance in what you do or it doesn't matter. Just doesn't matter. I'm here because ... and you can lay out a reason why you're on this earth. Like they say, 2 times in your life, 2 best times in your life: the day you were born, the day you figured out why you're here, why you were born. Or, doesn't matter why I'm here. I'm here. So it's either all matters or it doesn't matter. So what are you going to do about that? How are you going to live your life? It either all matters or it doesn't. You either make an impact and have a life of significance, or you don't. There's not a kinda. You know, like the verse says that lukewarm, the Lord will vomit you out. Vomit. Man, he can take if you're hot, he can take if you're cold, but lukewarm. Lukewarm is where a lot of people, including myself, find myself living in this world that's in between. So this is lukewarm. This is cold. And this is hot. That means here everything matters, and here nothing matters. But lukewarm is like, why does it matter? Maybe it matters, maybe it doesn't. You're trying to decide. So how do you know how someone thinks? If they believe that what they do is of significance and that they're going to account for their lives today in eternity. Man, it's like, don't tell me what you're doing, show me what you're doing. Everything you do talks so loudly that I can't hear your words, right? Again, I'm talking to me. So Alex is firing himself up, okay? So you either give everything you got, you give everything you got to go for something that you believe in and that gives you the purpose and significance in your life, or it's no use. Why? Why should I do anything? Right? But some of y'all, I can tell by your actions, are in the middle. Some weeks you're going for it, some weeks you don't. Now, okay, I believe it's okay to have a break and to refresh, recreate yourself. They call it's recreation, is recreate yourself so that you can go after it again. You can't just go full bore 100%, 24/7, 365 days a year, right? You know, the Lord rested on the 7th day, okay? Why? He did. Okay. So what do you do? What are you doing? You got a GMR, you got leads. Okay, so tell me, are you going for it, or it's no use? If you do $250 a week, golly, man, I respect you, right? But if you do like $40 a week, well, then I don't know why are you doing this? Now, granted, if you're only trying to make, $500 a week, maybe $40 a week will be perfect for you. Okay, so I'm not disparaging or casting aspersions upon your work effort. If your work effort is $500 a week, and you just want to make a couple thousand a month, God bless you, man. Well, then I would say that your 40 is over here. But I don't find too many people wanting to be satisfied at $500 a week. Even my part-timer, Jeff Brown in Baton Rouge, my architect, he's probably making 60, 70 grand a year, and he's over here, right? So if that part-timer can make a lot of money doing this, how come you are not if you are part-time? But I think part-time is more of a concept. It's a concept that fakes you out into either going for it or not going for it. Because your excuse is, well, I'm just part-time anyway. Oh, seriously? I know people make $250 part-time. You're either booking 15 appointments a week or you're booking 3 appointments a week. Again, if you want to make a lot of money, this is the premise, is you want to make a lot of money. You say, Alex, I need to make money. I need to do this. I need to do this for my family. I need to. But you're only showing me that you're booking 3 appointments a week. Bo, well then, I think you're cold. I think and when you're frustrated, you occupy this middle zone, which is pure hell. This is where God vomits you out. So either it makes a difference or it doesn't. Either it all matters or it doesn't matter. Where do you live your life? Do you live your life in a go for it? Just put everything I am into it? By the way, not just this business. How about your family? How about your relationship with God? Are you going for it? Are you just cold or lukewarm? Either be cold and don't believe that there is an afterlife and don't believe anything you do here matters, or you're wondering. And if you stay here, this is where you stay frustrated, unhappy. At least you'll be happy cold. Like whatever you do doesn't matter. So you're not having any expectations on yourself, right? And then you just, hey, do. I'm happy going nowhere. Frustrated, unhappy. This is where people live because they don't go for it. And the longer they wait, see, the assumption here is that you have time. Oh, you don't have time? You could die tomorrow. God did not guarantee you nothing. He didn't guarantee your next breath. It's amazing how much we take for granted that we are going to breathe our next breath, that we're going to wake up tomorrow, right? So I'm going to end with this quote that I sent out, because this is really, a lot of people look at the alliance and this business as hope for a better future. Okay, hope. But a lot of people approach their version of hope as a wish. They see this and they wish it will work. But true hope that we give people with this business is just like what St. Augustine said. St. Augustine of Hippo. By the way, just so you know about St. Augustine, man, his mother prayed that he would be saved. He's very intellectual, and he led a crazy, racy life. Man, he was sleeping with women. He was getting drunk. He was like debauchery. He lived a life of debauchery for years, decades. And his mother would continue to pray, Lord, help him find the way. Help him find you. Help him. And he converted. He changed his life and became one of the greatest theologians in history. Amazing example from where he was to where he became, and through really the prayers of his mother, just praying for him, hoping that he'll change, right? So this is what he wrote. He says, hope has 2 beautiful daughters. Their names are anger and courage. Anger at the way things are, and courage to see that they do not remain as they are, right? Let me say it again. Hope has 2 beautiful daughters. Their names are anger and courage. Anger at the way things are, and courage to see that they do not remain as they are. Brother, man. Sisters. That's hope. It's not a wish. It's a hope. Are you angry about where you are in this business? Your financial situation? Are you angry that you have the alliance? Someone gave you the solution of our business, a lead program with training, with everyone that will help you turn those leads into income for your families. We have an opportunity for you to hire other people all over the country. We've got thousands of leads all over the country. You can help other people take advantage of this opportunity to give them hope for a better future. We have that opportunity. So let me ask you, are you angry enough about where you are And do you have the courage to implement this program in your life and doing all the things you need to do to make the business work for you? Right? Are you plugging into meetings and conference calls, all the meetings and conference calls that we're doing? Are you counseling with your upline who's going to help you? Are you going to the hotspot meetings to get hands-on help? Are you plugging into the webinars like this one and the TWC? Are you taking advantage of everything that is available to you? You just kind of picking and choosing. Are you a cafeteria agent? Because a cafeteria agent, they're living in the middle. They're picking and choosing what they think on their broke thought process, what they think is going to work, when we're explaining to them, brother, you got to go all out. You got to take advantage of every opportunity to get better in this thing so you can squeeze the lemon and squeeze the juice out of the opportunity. See, that's the courage part. The courage to submit your ego to a system and people that want to help you. That takes courage to submit your ego. Pride cometh before the fall. Your pride and ego is what will stop you. Your pride and ego is what will keep you in the middle, frustrated, not knowing why this isn't working for you. But sometimes you got to get angry enough to want to make a change. And then you got to apply the courage to make it happen. That's true hope. We give hope. We give you hope. And the hope is this awesome business that we can help you with. We can't do nothing if you keep staying lukewarm, right, about what you want out of this thing. Do you want it bad enough that everything matters, everything you do matters, or you just don't know if it matters at all, and you're lukewarm? I don't know, man. It's up to you. You make that decision. It's all in your hands. And I'm here to help you. I want to help you. Talk to me more often. Get my advice on stuff. I talked to Andy, last week was a bunch of times. Things that I need to do, things I need to change. Right? I need to get angrier, and I need to have more courage to make significant changes to move on in my life and in my impact and what I want to do to leave a legacy in my children. I know, I'm hoping one day that they watch my videos. Hope one day after I'm gone, they say, you know what? I'm going to watch my dad's videos and maybe I'll pick up something. At least they're going to see someone on fire, whatever my legacy is. At least it's $12 million. Thank you, Andy Albright. Thank you, the Alliance. There is a career progression in the Alliance. Again, the hope is there a career progression in the Alliance that you could have a lifetime legacy for your children if you do everything we're teaching. There is a plan. There's a plan to provide for yourself when you're older with multiple six-figure income that will go the rest of your life, plus a life insurance policy that will be paid to your children tax-free in the millions. There is a plan if you're willing to activate your hope due to anger and applying courage. Does that make sense? Man, I hope that made sense to you. I was talking to me. I was having a private conversation with myself that'll let you listen to me because I'm firing myself up. I'm talking about, man, making some big moves, and I hope you are too. I hope you get off from being lukewarm, you get hot, because everything matters, man. Everything matters. Everything you do matters. And it matters to me, all right, that I can help you, all right? Man, God bless you. I hope this helped. And, man, I'm fired up. So let's rock this thing, man. Let's rock next week. Let's do our personal best. Let's dial your dial counts, 40. Let's get to 250, man. Who wants to get to 250? Well, actually, I don't got enough leads. Then talk to Jenny. Let's talk to her about how to get more leads for you so you can make more dials, man. Rock on, man. I hope this helped. God bless.